go ahead and get started here. Welcome everyone to Okay, it's safe now? All right. Welcome everybody. Let's go ahead and kick off the November 21st meeting for the City of Erie Land Bank. I'd like to start off by seeking a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes from our prior October meeting.
I will make that motion.
Thank you, Chuck.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Takes us to the finance report. Aaron, April.
So in front of you, you have the balance sheet and the profit and loss statement. It shows currently we have $101,571.99 in the checking, $13,419.94 in the savings, and accounts receivable of $64,893.16 for sale of properties and requisitions to be received from the county land bank. And our total net income was showing $81,092.42. And then we have also included a work plan for 2023, just for you to review that we can make a motion on the next meeting.
So on Wednesday of last week, Erie County Land Bank approved our proposed 2023 work plan, which included $410,000 in Erie County Land Bank funding, which is the $1 million of the gaming revenue, along with the use of the Act 152 demolition fund for our 2023 work plan. So as April said, what's in front of you is our proposed 2023 budget that we will have on the agenda for December, but we wanted to provide it to you so that you have some time to review it. We'll probably make some final revisions and adjustments to it based upon, anything that we feel we need to make changes before the next meeting, but certainly provide us any feedback that you have, looking at it.
So
We
Aaron,
did take into consideration some of the things that we maybe under budgeted this year that we have to make a better adjustment at. We're also looking at how we can better track and allocate funding for materials, office supplies, things like that, as far as, land bank versus redevelopment authority activities. It's going to be a little bit different this year, having Mindy on from the beginning of the year as opposed to coming on halfway through the year, so that should make things a little bit more streamlined than they were in the past.
did you say 410 was the preliminary?
410,000 in Erie County Land Bank funding.
Any questions on the financials?
Land Bank funding, hard money.
If not, can I get a motion to approve the financials?
So move.
I'll be pleased to second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That takes us to citizens' comments. Did anyone reach out?
No, we received no correspondence from anybody over the last month that would wish to address the board in any way.
Okay. Let's go ahead and move on then to report of the executive director and updates to the work plan.
All right, so in front of you is the work plan 21 properties and the work plan 22 properties. The 21s, for the most part, have all been demolished except for the 3 that are still tied up in legal matters. So we're working on those. That 21 work plan, just for the board's knowledge, with the Erie County Land Bank has a little over $2,000 remaining. In speaking with Christie and working through the funding for 23, they're aware of that situation, that those properties are still tied up in those legal issues, and that we will certainly make sure that we have the funding to complete the acquisition of those 3 properties. So Mindy's been working on getting the side lots proposals together and over to Marsh and, Gene and his team to get those taken care of. On the 22 work plan, no, sorry, any questions on the 21? And then on the 22 work plan, we're still working through the judicial tax sale acquisitions, which are the main ones that we have possession of right now. Most of those are, if they're being demolished, they're demolished currently. I know 432 Cascade, they were starting on the asbestos abatement, but they haven't demolished the property yet. So once that is completed, they'll get that property scheduled for demolition. And then we are still waiting on the establishment of the value of the properties for the 22 that we filed condemnation on back in June. That is scheduled, I believe, for January 17th. So once we have that hearing, then we'll be able to move forward with those properties. That is my report.
Okay. Any questions on the work plan? Chuck, any questions on the work plan?
No, sorry, I was deep in thought.
If not, we'll go ahead and move on then to solicitor's report.
Good afternoon, how's everybody doing?
Good afternoon.
Happy Thanksgiving, a few days early. My favorite holiday. You'll see what I talk about when I come 15 pounds heavier in December. This is an update with regard to the properties, quiet title actions to clear all those properties. They've been finalized. Last property to be finalized will be in December 2022. One of the things that we're finding is as we're getting these properties, the title companies for the buyers are requesting that we do a formal quiet title action to give them kind of a safety net that the tax sale extinguished all rights. It's taken a little bit more time. We were doing them initially when they were coming out of estates because we knew that we had to take care of the Pennsylvania inheritance tax and other issues associated with the estates. Now it's becoming clear that those properties that the land bank intends to sell to a third party, which is kind of what we're trying to accomplish here, that the title companies are saying, hey, Gene, we need you to do a title action to make sure that there are no potential claims out there. So we're going to kind of just do those hand in hand going forward. And it's not overly difficult. It's a little bit more time consuming. Probably adds 60 days to the availability for the properties to be sold. And part of that probably, well, it's not a problem, but it leads into the next issue with regard to the Pennsylvania inheritance tax liens. We now have those down to almost an art form that we know what information they're looking for and that they're getting back to us rather quickly. So I've been receiving those in bunches for all of these, so you'll see that. And then what I also wanted to do was to provide the board with an itemization as to what we have, what we've been doing. So those are the sales that have been completed this last half of the year, I'll say, the ones that is scheduled for the 15th and the ones that are pending. And again, I've tried to give you a little bit of a summary as to not necessarily what the holdup is, but what we're working on to be able to effectuate those sales. So again, really appreciate all the help that we've received from Aaron and Mindy to help keep these going, and so we're making progress. I feel good that the purpose of the land bank, that we're accomplishing that, that we are securing and transferring properties accordingly. I am also going to be working with Aaron and Mindy so that when we have buyers who are purchasing as a third party, that they have a better idea as to what the costs and expenses are at the time of the closing. I've gotten a couple of comments that they were surprised. And so that's one of the things that I'd like to work and have no question that we'll be able to do that, is to give a really definitive, what I call a good faith estimate as to what they're looking at. Because it's been tweaked a little bit depending upon how much work is involved and kind of the unknowns out there. So I'll be working with Mindy and Aaron to have a little more definitive idea or a sheet to hand out to potential buyers. So that's kind of where we are and where we're going.
Thank you for that, and it's encouraging to see just the volume of transactions that we're seeing. Really feels like we are making good progress. And I do agree we should have some sort of good faith estimate, just like the industry has, when you're looking to buy a home or any other property. And I guess that could go along with even an estimated timeline too, a good faith estimate to the timeline, because I know I get questions, I thought this was going to be 30 days or 45 days, and maybe we can establish up front, here's what you're realistically looking at because of these 3 or 4 steps that we have to go through.
And Chris, we can do that too. Now that we've not only dipped our foot in the deep end of the pool, but we're all the way in, and I've had this experience. I can give a better, idea as to the time frame. And the state's being more receptive now in getting back to me, where before it was I submitted it and then it was like it was radio code silence. I had no idea, and we were following up. And you worry about, okay, if I call again this Monday, are they going to go, okay, you're now being a pest and your file has now slid under the bus. But now I know exactly what they're looking for. I know what format to put it in so that I can help them crank it out and get a response back to me.
Great. Any questions? Okay, again, thank you very much. It's encouraging to see. All right, let's go ahead and move on then to unfinished business and new business.
All right, vacant lot disposition.
Sure, we have 4 properties that we've received proposals on. There's one that has 2 people that gave a proposal for. So that first one listed, the 631 East 22nd Street, received 2 offers on that. The gentleman that's listed first, Mong Si Song, he is a sidewalk owner, so he lives right next door to the lot, whereas the other gentleman lives down the street. And I know that's been a preference for the board since we've started this, so.
Contiguous property owner seems to make more sense than.
I move that we accept the offer for 631 East 22nd Street for the side yard and parking for $600.
I would second that motion. Aye.
Aye.
The next property is 524 East 25th Street. So his actual address is not right next door because it is a rental property, but he would like to buy the lot to add additional parking for his tenants.
Mr. Fior has bought multiple properties from the redevelopment authority. He owns a substantial amount of properties in that general vicinity, along with a couple other commercial properties and rental properties as well. So he's certainly well invested into that neighborhood.
And no issues?
No,
or-
no issues
yeah.
whatsoever.
Okay.
I mean, he really wants to, there's a couple race properties he would like to purchase, but due to some outstanding legal issues, he's been holding on them for several years. So as we try to get some time to work through those, but yeah, no, he's a very upstanding property owner.
I'll be pleased to make that motion to sell to our 524 East 25th Street to Dan Fiore for $500.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yes, 443 East 16th Street. Michael Higgins, he is a code enforcement officer. He lives in the Fairview area, actually, but he is interested in the property as a future development. And then where it says, does he own other blighted properties? He did purchase a blighted property, but it is actually ready to be rescinded because he rehabbed the entire property. So
Oh.
I know they have it on the list to
Okay.
evaluate and rescind the blight designation.
So a positive recommendation.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And I would support that, seek a motion to approve the offer for Mr. Higgins.
I move that we accept the offer for 443 East 16th Street from Michael Higgins in the amount of $500.
I'll
For
second
future
that
development.
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and the last one's 518 East 8th Street, buyer Samantha Strange. She actually lives next door. They just took the house down, and she's very excited to have a possibility of having more space for her kids. So she just wants it as a side yard. She is a renter, and I had double checked with her. She still does want to purchase it. It is her father-in-law who owns the house that she rents it. So, because I was kind of curious why she wanted to purchase a lot next to a rental, but that is why. So I couldn't. She didn't, as a renter, she didn't have past due utilities or taxes to confirm.
Very good, I can support.
And we're not concerned that she's acting as a straw party on behalf of her father-in-law, or is that a issue, or?
I think with the maintenance agreement that we have in the contracts now, basically saying that if they ever fail to not take care of these properties, we will take it back
Okay.
from them. I feel that it's, with her living next door and having the children and things like that, that she's still a good candidate,
Okay,
knowing that we could take it back in the future if
had to ask.
it wasn't. Oh, no,
No, but you
that's
raise-
why
you
I
raise-
did
you
my
raise a
research
good
on
point,
it.
though,
'Cause it-
that especially if there's, a relationship, maybe
Mhm.
we should,
I've been around the block a few times.
Yeah.
That,
yeah. Okay,
I just think it's good that it's disclosed and we're aware and we're still okay with the transaction.
yeah.
So I'll be pleased to make a motion to sell 518 East A Street to Samantha Strange, who resides at 520 East A Street for $500.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mindy.
Thank you.
Okay, on to proposed meeting schedule.
All right, so in front of you is the proposed 2023 meeting schedule. The Land Bank meets the third Monday of every month at 1 p.m. The only exception to that has been that the third Monday of every January is MLK Junior Day, so City Hall is closed. So in the past, we have moved that meeting back 1 month to the fourth Monday. So that is my recommendation, to meet January 23rd, and then the third Monday of every month for the remainder of the year.
And will remain at 1 o'clock p.m.?
And it will remain at 1 o'clock, yes.
Does that cut into your lunch schedule or anything, Deb, or anything? You're good? Just kidding.
Yep, I'm good with that. I think we've all adjusted our calendars and gotten used to it. So.
Habit is good.
Yep.
Is the board motion to
So
approve
you need us
that? Yes.
to actually approve that? then?
Yes.
Okay, yep.
I'll make that motion to approve.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
All right, then the last thing on the agenda is just an update to the judicial tax sale. The sale has been moved to December 6th and 7th, back about 3 weeks from when it was previously scheduled. And we provided a list of the option agreements that we had put in. So far, one property has been taken off of the list. I believe they had paid the taxes? Bankruptcy. So they filed bankruptcy, so it was removed from the judicial tax sale list. So between now and December 6th, we'll continue to evaluate the list, and hopefully no more get taken off, but if they do, we'll adjust accordingly and provide the funds to execute our option for these properties at the sale on the 6th and 7th. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have other business?
I have nothing else for today.
No? Questions from the board? No? If not, I'd just like to thank you again for the hard work and the progress we're making, and it's great to see the properties transacting and moving these along, so thank you very much, and just wish everybody a safe and happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, you as well.
Back here next month, so with that, we adjourn. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.